welcome to this session of Bella Vista Garden Club program. With me today is Rachel Cox. She's the Executive Director of the Healing Gardens in Rogers. And for those of you that don't know what that is or aren't sure or maybe have heard a little bit about it, Rachel's really going to fill us in on all the ins and outs of this wonderful, wonderful project. But as always, we have a few housekeeping things we have to do. And one of those is to let you know that our next big upcoming event is March 16th, and that's our big Garden Club card party. Now, if you go to the website, bellavistagardenclub.com, and look on there, that's where you are going to find your information for signing up. Now, last that I talked to the director of that was that there were very few tables left. We can have 50 tables of 4, and it's $12 each, and we provide food and drink, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful time for everybody. So, we'll get to the other things later. Right now, I want to talk about Healing Gardens. Welcome, and thank you so much for coming again.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. And so it's just a wonderful day to come out, and I love talking about one of my favorite things, of course, Healing Gardens of Northwest Arkansas. So
just the beginning.
It's just the beginning. Yes. And so, you know, we are really excited because a few years ago, this concept of having a place right there at Highlands Oncology in Rogers.
So it's associated with?
Yes. So we were really blessed. The doctors of Highlands Oncology Group have gifted us 2.5 acres for 100 years for $1 a year land lease, with an option for 50 more years on top of that, to develop this beautiful green space campus. And the vision for the space was originally to be able to have this place for the families, the patients, anyone in the community that really just needed that place to go out and have a botanic, green space, healing spot. And then it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so it will continue to be a place for that, you know, specific mission. But now we've got so many other exciting things that are coming around with it too that I'm excited to share with you as well.
So who's all involved in this?
Yes. Okay. So what started out was, you know, the idea was we're going to give you this space. Maybe you'll turn it into, you know, a little garden or an orchard or something. And then the right people just kept getting involved. So we were paired up with the designers at Crystal Bridges.
Oh my gosh.
Right out of the bat. And so they looked at us and said, okay, this has got some real potential to be a pretty unique space because we're positioned right on the Razorback Greenway Trail.
Yes.
It
that
runs.
Connects.
Yeah, it's right on our property. And so it's right on our property. It's a beautiful piece of land right there, kind of at the gateway between Rogers and Bentonville, just down from Horse Barn Park. And one of the things too, as you can see on the screen here, that's going to be what the entire project looks like. We are so excited. And so when they paired us with the designers, we brought in people like Ron Troutman, who helped create all of the outdoor trailway space at Crystal Bridges. He did, I want to say 22 or 24 miles of the Razorback Greenway Trail systems. Walter Jennings and Maurice Jennings, who have played a huge role in things like Cooper Memorial Chapel and Thorn Crown Chapel and the J.B. Hunt Memorial. So this specific space is going to actually be a second and third generation Frank Lloyd Wright designed space. And so to have this kind of amenity right here in our community has just been extremely exciting. And
what all is going to be in this beautiful space eventually?
Eventually, yes. So here's what's really neat. So whenever we really came to the table and said, okay, now we have these designers who want to get involved, we have the land, and so we've got to develop a nonprofit. So, I mean, okay, this is kind of now fell into our laps. And so the co-founders at that time went through the process of not only, developing what everyone would normally do as a nonprofit, a board, going through those 501c3 filings, but what was really important to them was that we were really specific in learning about what were healing properties in nature, and specifically, geographically.
Very important.
From a number of different cultural perspectives, because one of the things we really want to embrace in this space is a place for everyone. So anyone will be welcome from any kind of walk of life. And so in the
So it doesn't have to be, you have to be a cancer patient.
No.
You just...
Absolutely, absolutely. So we will always be there to serve the patients and families that are undergoing cancer treatment, and we know that we'll have a valuable place for them. But we also know that people in the community need a space like this who are dealing with all sorts of things in their life. It may be joyful experiences as well. I know for me, personally, of course, I've been affected by cancer in my family like most, and so a space like that will be important in that way. But I also was a foster mom for several years, and so having a place like that for my family to go to and my kids to go and enjoy, and I'll talk a little more here in a minute about some of the other really neat components of it. But one of the neat things in terms of what will be in the garden space is that in talking to all of these different people about the cultural perspectives, is we found out what was important from a healing element to them. And so we knew that we needed to have therapeutic and sensory related things from, sound, smell, sight, the, actual feel, touch, tactile,
Right.
And so we'll have walking paths that are connected all through the grounds that are a labyrinth themselves. And they'll connect into the Razorback Greenway.
Oh.
And then also, we are less than 1/10 of a mile away from the new Rogers and Bentonville Greenway that comes right across the street from us. So that was just opened like in the last 3 months. So that's another trailway that comes in.
Right.
We also have this huge play on water and the natural elements of the Ozarks. And so we'll have a 14-foot waterfall that will have this beautiful, just rushing sound. And
yes.
the therapeutic element of that is going to be really neat and just beautiful.
The sound and visual aspects of water is just so serene.
Yes.
That I can see that would be a great help there.
Absolutely, and that will trickle down into a reflecting pool. It will go into dry creek beds, and we'll have little creeks that, when it rains, that will run through the property. So water was a big, thing that we knew we had to have in the grounds. We also have a true labyrinth that will be there, and so we wanted a place where people could come and meditate, think their best thoughts, prescribe to whatever that looked like for them, whether that's meditation, prayer, whatever like I said, culturally was relevant for them and what they needed to heal. And so we'll have a labyrinth there on site. We'll have a secret garden, which will be kind of more of an English style garden of more of that traditional, what you think of the rose garden and different things, which will just be beautiful. We have this reflection center that you saw a rendering of a moment ago, but that's the space that is mirrored a lot off of the, you'll see a lot of the thorn crown and the memorial, Cooper B. Memorial type references and cross-references of light and glass, and it really was actually inspired by Native American heritage of being kind of a teepee. And so it has an oculus up at the top, and so it'll have this beautiful light feature that comes up and down through it. And then we'll have a stone stacking area where people can lay down their burdens or stack up their blessings, whatever that looks like for them.
That's a lot to put into.
A lot. It's going to be beautiful. Yeah, it's going to be beautiful. And and the big thing too is that there's a lot of spaces that we've put in there that will be green space where people can come and just sit, just be, take their shoes off, just be quiet and unplug. Because when do we do that in today's culture?
Exactly. Exactly.
And so, if on the weekends a family wants to throw a Frisbee, they can throw a Frisbee around. If someone wants to come and just lay out and read a book, they'll have that opportunity. And we expect we'll get a lot of traffic off of the Greenway as well from cyclists and, people who are using that amenity. And so
the main message for you, though, is that this is open and available to anybody.
Absolutely.
And everybody. And there's no cost to walk through these beautiful spaces.
Absolutely. So, right now we are really, really excited because we have raised the funds for the design phase of the project. So we know this is going to, with such a big project comes a big fundraising goal. And we knew when we took this on that it wasn't going to be an overnight, deal. And so, but we are really excited because this last year we were able to raise what we needed from the design aspect. And so we were able to get all of our renderings, the architectural drawings, site plans, those kind of things finalized. So we were ready and positioned now to raise the funds that, if someone wrote us the check tomorrow, we could begin, construction, very quickly.
So how do you raise these funds? Where do you go to get these funds?
Absolutely. So the first amount of our campaign was the design, which was about $350,000, which is kind of like, but when you think about, the level
all
of what that's going to,
things that you put in there.
Yes. And I'll talk about too what's going to go on.
Yes.
Not just in here in a moment, but also, yes. And so we'll be building in phases. So our first phase is about $500,000, and that will be the upper pocket park of the grounds. And so once that is raised, and we're, how we raise that money is we're in a capital campaign. And so we're applying for funding through foundations, we're applying for funding through grants, through corporations.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's,
and different things, but also, individuals and families can make a huge dent as well. I know for me and my family, I have a lot of kiddos, and so it's not like I have $1 million that I can write a check for, but something that we can do is say, hey, I can make a gift of, $50 or $100 a month, and I can commit to doing that month after month. Mm-hmm. And those are sustaining funds then that are helping us continue the operations while we're making those ask for major gifts. And all of those smaller amounts too, they add up. And so, we're making a dent toward that first $500,000 goal for the upper pocket park phase.
For those that don't have the financial means at all to be able to contribute, but like us all, we've all been touched by cancer.
Absolutely.
Either ourselves or our family or our loved ones or whatever. How can an individual give to this project without having to make a monthly?
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that I'm a really big component of is that there's a seat on the bus for everyone in any type of organization that someone has a passion about. So if you're passionate about gardening, you need to get involved with Healing Gardens in some way. And so whether that is a financial gift, whether it's a gift of time, of service, we have people who have so many skills in this community, whether it's gardening, whether it's planning, whether it's administrative, someone who might serve on a committee and help with an event. We have a need for people right now. And so there is a strong need for volunteers. We just recently launched an auxiliary, Friends of the Healing Gardens Auxiliary. And so we would love to have people, if there's anyone that's tuned in today, who says, hey, I might be willing to give the gift of time. Maybe
I'd like to
yes.
Help out.
Yeah, maybe it's not, tons of time each week, but even if it's, hey, I can help out at that event once a year, or I can give a couple hours a month. Even some things like addressing thank you cards. You don't understand how much those things add up. And I'll tell you even more why I'm a staff of one. So, we really need help. So at this juncture,
So the buck stops with you there.
Right. So I have a wonderful board, and we have some really great committees with some great volunteers already. But man, we really do need the volunteer support. I mean, we're in a position of growth right now, and so as we are continuing to grow, we need more people who are willing to say, "Hey, I'm willing to help in some way."
And this helps to build the foundation of this organization.
Absolutely.
It's not just rocks and mortar and plants, it's people and
Absolutely.
giving and coming together and that sort of thing.
Yes, and I would say, like, from a third component too, you know, if someone, you know, maybe they can't give the gift of finances or the gift of time, they can always give the gift of advocacy. You know, we have a newsletter that we send out each month. Sign up. It's on our website. Go to our website and sign up for that. Tell people about what we're doing. Let people know. Get excited about it, because
share it.
We need people to know that this is happening, because a lot of people don't even know this is happening right here in our backyard.
Right.
So,
and that's why I was so glad that you could come today, because
yes.
you know, a lot of people don't understand or even have heard of the Healing Gardens, and it's such a huge and will have a huge impact on our community.
Absolutely. And, you know, one of the things I wanted to share while I was here too is that once we are open, we have such exciting things that we have planned in the space. So our 4 pillars that we're really built around are health and wellness, education, arts, and community building. So we will have arts exhibits that move through the grounds from local artists. We will have, you know, partnerships already formed with Arkansas Philharmonic, so we'll have symphony spaces where we will have opportunities for musicians in the community to come out and perform and do these beautiful, you know, artistic expressions that may lead to healing. And then also, we will have true art. You know, we're going to have art in the park kind of things. We are also partnered from an educational perspective with the University of Arkansas and the Rogers and Bentonville Public Schools and Arkansas Arts Academy, and we're looking to extend those opportunities to even more schools to offer ourselves as an outdoor classroom experience where people can come out and learn about sustainability and ecology and native plants and why do the bees like this, you know, specific thing. And so, you know, kids in our community are going to be the ones that take care of this project. And so not only is this space going to be for people, you know, in our generations, but, you know, the children that are being raised right now are going to be the ones who end up really carrying this on. And they've got to get excited, and it even leads to more of that, getting them unplugged, getting their feet in the dirt and letting them kind of explore and see what our roots are here in the Ozarks.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
And so in terms of community building, that 8 to 5 Monday through Friday time period will continue to be a reflective time where the patients and families can come in, and it will be kind of our quieter hours. Things will still be going on during that. But we will also have community type events on the nights and weekends. So we might have movie night at the gardens where we, you know, throw up a projector and, you know, invite the families.
Now, will these special events still be free, or
will there,
or a donation?
Sure, yeah. So we're looking at that, but the majority of what we're wanting to do is free public access. And how we do that too, it comes back to volunteers. People who are willing to come in and offer their services. So we've had, you know, yoga instructors approach us and say, hey, I would love to donate yoga classes once you're open. And we've had musicians say, hey, once you're open, we'd like to donate, you know, 2-3 hours of time a month to play. It takes the people in the community to make that a free, you know, an affordable thing. But yeah, our intent is to be able to offer this as a public access space that everyone can enjoy.
Well, getting back to fundraising, I know that you have had quarterly luncheons.
Yes.
And then you have another event that's coming up.
Yes.
So I'll let
Absolutely.
you talk
Okay.
about that.
Okay, I'll do that real quick here. So we have our big Seeds of Hope Garden Party that's coming up on May 4th. That's on a Friday, and it will be at the Barn at the Springs in Springdale.
What a gorgeous site.
It's beautiful. It's rustic barn, garden party, perfect location. But what's cool about this too is that we picked this week because for those who notice, it's the same week as Bentonville Film Festival.
Oh yes, that's right.
And we've come on as their floral partner for the week. So we're going to be doing events with the Bentonville Film Festival that entire week. And they will be providing our keynote speaker for our event on Friday night. And so we can't release who that is going to be yet,
Right.
but we'll do that.
You won't know
closer
to the
time.
last.
That's it, because we're going to have to see who's going to actually be able to come out. But we're excited about this.
What a great connection between.
I know, and it's so exciting. And from our perspective too, we're going to have these beautiful floral installations throughout the Bentonville Film Festival that will be able to signify different things that will represent things in Healing Gardens also.
Yes.
And so, and there's an opportunity if you're a gardener who would like to be a part of maybe helping with some of those installations. We need some volunteers still to help with that as well, because we have 9 exhibits that we'll be having throughout the grounds. So
All those,
who wouldn't
yes.
want to say, hey, I got to put together this beautiful arrangement and exhibit.
Right. And
in the
be a
film
part of that.
festival.
Both
Yes.
events, both
Yes, both
things.
events, both events. So that was a wonderful collaboration for us for this year. And as you mentioned, we do have Sprouting Hope events. So Seeds of Hope is our big garden party that happens once a year. Sprouting Hope is our quarterly luncheons that we do that are educational lunch and learns. And if anyone's interested in that, I'd say, come to our website, sign up for our newsletter. Let me know if you want to volunteer on the committee to plan those. They're really fun.
Well, and you provide free lunch.
Free lunch.
You provide raffle items.
Yes.
Because that's where the fundraiser
Yep, and
part
silent
comes in.
auction.
Right. And then table captains.
Yes, so it's a friendraiser. So you get these table captains who are willing to come in and invite some of their friends to come. It's free. We have these yummy lunches. Usually have wonderful buntinis from Nothing Bunt Cakes. They're one of our sponsors, and
yum.
they're delicious. And the speakers are always really good. I mean, top notch. And the table captains get to design each of their tables with whatever theme they want. And the centerpiece. And the centerpiece usually gets auctioned off as well. So we've had people come in and do these really beautiful tables that are anywhere from Razorback theme to Paris to beach. It's just cool to see everyone represent what they would do in a floral arrangement or gardening. Some of it's greenery type things, but it's just a nice, fun day. And we'll have our next one probably sometime this summer. We're looking for committee members to help with that. We haven't
So
set our
there
date.
again, if you've got time and availability, and you want to give something back, get a hold of Rachel and Healing Gardens and let them know, because like you said, you're looking for raffle items.
Yes.
And that could be just about anything,
Absolutely.
something that
Absolutely.
you would like to have in your home or grow or
Yes.
or whatever.
Absolutely.
So right now, what's your next step?
Biggest thing for right now is that we have a few things in terms of we really need people to get involved with our organization from a volunteer perspective, think about how they can be a part of the campaign in whatever way that looks like. And then also think about coming out to our Seeds of Hope event on May 4th. We still have some tickets left. We expect it to be a sellout event. And so I'd really encourage people to get on our website, get their tickets quickly for that. But we want everyone who has an interest in gardening and who has an interest in this community to delve in some way.
Right.
So.
Well, I can't thank you enough
Thank
for
you.
being here.
Yeah.
This is just, it's almost overwhelming to think about it, and what this is going to, what you and your efforts and those involved are going to really bring to our community. It's just wonderful. So.
We're grateful. We've had a wonderful team and wonderful visionaries and co-founders, and a lot of love and support from the Highlands Oncology staff and doctors for believing in this project. And a lot of wonderful supporters in the community, but we thank you for letting us come and share today.
Well, and anytime you have another big event or anything, any newsworthy thing, you know, let us know. We'll have you back. Because this is, like I said, this is very, very important. So.
Thank you, Barb.
Now we're going to get back to a little housekeeping things that we do every month, and that is what you should be doing in your garden this time of the year. And the first thing is annuals. Well, you know, we're not growing annuals right now. However, if you're like me, a little OCD, I collect and harvest my own seeds. But if you have seeds that you have you know, packages of, and they're a couple years old, you can still use those. They're still good.
Yeah.
You just may have to throw a few more in. But, you know, don't put your annuals out yet. And then the flower beds. Well, you know, you might not have reached every flower bed this past fall. So it's time to get the Hoover out and clean them up and dust them off and check and see, you know. I know you're busy, but do you have flower gardens in your...
Oh yeah, so I have a little bit. So this last year I had to do the same thing. Just clean them out, like start over. I had to start over. I thought it was embarrassing. I'm running Healing Gardens and my own flower beds looked pretty embarrassing. So but this is the time of year, like you said, and so I've got some maintenance that I need to work on at home as well.
Well, as far as flowering shrubs are concerned, spring flowering shrubs, you don't want to be trimming those back right now because you're going to wipe out all the buds and the flowers. Bulbs are coming up now, so you want to fertilize with bone meal or a good broad spectrum type fertilization. But it's very important that we keep establishing these gardens and having them grow because this is also the time of the year when you'll see that you have an overgrown area, something has really taken off, and you've got to split it. Now is the time to do that. But my suggestion is that when you go to do that, remember that the Garden Club plant sale, spring plant sale, which is May 6th, will be needing some of those plants. So just get in touch with the Garden Club website, bellavistagardenclub.com, and find out how you can be part of all of that. Houseplants. Well, I have to say I'm not really good at houseplants. They do a lot better outside for me, but they, you know, it's not that time of the year. But just start to fertilize them now because they'll start to grow. Perennials, split, vegetables. There again, I'm really bad with vegetables because, you know, I keep saying I gave up vegetables for Lent in '87, but cold weather vegetable crops, cabbage?
Cabbage, you could put broccoli in the ground right now. All your leafy greens, you could probably get in the ground right now. For sure.
If you're looking at starting things from seeds, now would be the time to start them, but you're not going to be putting them out there for another 8 to 10 weeks. And trees and shrubs, if you want to add to your landscape, now is the time to be doing that. So the other thing is that if you are looking for gardening information, there's our website. There's the Master Gardener website, which is bentonvillegardening.org, and that's filled with lots and lots of information. Our next meeting is coming up in March. We're always the fourth weekend in March, and so it will be the 28th, and this time the monthly meeting is going to be making creative containers. And everybody's welcome, everybody can come and be a guest, but also there's a few dates that I want to give you that that are coming up. So be sure you mark your 2018 calendars for the Benton County Master Gardener Expo, and that's on April 29th. And then on
Yes, May 4th.
May
Yep.
4th is your garden party. The Bella Vista plant sale, and that's a big one. But also, this year, we are having a garden party. And part of the garden party is, it's a big venue of artists and that sort of thing. So I have a few examples of some of the things that are going to be for sale there. And these are hand-painted glasses that I have painted with special paint that when I fire them, then they're dishwasher safe. And although I don't have a specific name for each one, now that we've seen the yellow one, we'll go on to the pink one.
It's gorgeous, yeah.
What we're looking at is when you go to paint these, they are
Wow.
reverse painting. You have to think of details first and put in the details first,
Look at that.
and
Yeah.
then you can start to create the rest of the piece. So these will be for sale at the garden party. And I've got one more that I want to show you. And this one is just, it's not one for viewing the inside of, but it still looks very pretty from the inside. My poppies. Well, Rachel, thank you so much again for being with us, and I hope that you can come back and give us a progress report on how things are going.
We'd be
And
honored.
just remember, everybody, you can be involved in all of this. So just keep Healing Gardens in your mind, in your heart, because they're gonna need everyone's support. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's program, and we'll tune in again next month. But till then, don't forget to stop and smell the roses, as Jerry always says.